Welcome to NHL Draft Pros. Well, we're only 1 month since the 22 NHL Draft, which itself had some nice surprises, and we're now set to watch the Hlinka-Gretzky Cup, which will feature a bunch of the 2023 NHL Draft prospects. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the players that may go in the first round next summer. It's still very early, but we're going to see what makes these kids stand out. And I'll probably add some game highlights from the tournament next week when all the games are done. So have a look for that video. And can you please subscribe and hit the like button to help the channel grow? Thanks. All right, the first player we're going to talk about is Cam Allen of the Guelph Storm, who will be wearing number 2 for Team Canada. And the Blue Liner won OHL Rookie of the Year and looked great throughout the season. He's great at leading a breakout and has some offensive upside, but is also a strong defender. There's a reason he is the team captain for this U18 Canada squad. Look for him to have a strong tournament. And if we look at his stats from last season, he had 37 points in 65 games. Pretty impressive for a young kid in his first year in the OHL. Here's a quote from the Hockey News. Named Canada's captain, the speedy, strong, physical defender is as confident as they come and does a good job of controlling the game's pace with the puck on his stick. He's unselfish, has a quick release on his shot, and is built to be a prototypical modern-day defenseman. That's from an article from the Hockey News on July 29th. So we'll see how Cam Allen and Team Canada can do in this tournament. They have a pretty strong squad again. You'll see that a lot of these top 10 players that I'm going to be talking about are actually from Team Canada. So look for them. Actually, the next player we're going to talk about is Zach Benson of the Winnipeg Ice, and he'll be wearing number 9 for Team Canada. He also had a great D-1 season, posting over a point per game in the WHL with 63 points in 58 games. This kid can move, and you'll notice him all over the ice when he's on. He's very skilled with the puck and has tremendous speed. And like I said, he had over a point per game as a rookie in the WHL, so 63 points in 58 games, 25 goals, 38 assists. Pretty nice numbers for a rookie. And here's a quote from The Athletic. With the puck on his stick, he's dynamic. His skill and hockey sense are elite, making all kinds of plays in the WHL as a 16-year-old and showing he's a threat on the power play to pick defenses apart. The pure athleticism doesn't pop as much given he lacks size, and he's a fine but not amazing skater. So that's from Pronman's rankings, July 11th on The Athletic. Check that article out. All right, next is from Finland, Kasper Halttunen, and he'll be wearing number 10 for the Finnish team. And keep an eye out for this kid. He's a shooter and has a decent stick handling and puck skills. He should be one of the top players for Finland. He had 38 points in 41 games in the Finnish U20 league as a 16-year-old, good for 10th all-time in the league. So some pretty impressive numbers. And if we look at his stats here, like I said, 38 points in 41 games. And in his international play, had pretty good numbers too, 12 points in 19 games. And here's a quote from The Athletic again. Halttunen is a highly intriguing forward. He's a big, bulky winger with a high skill level and a knack for scoring goals. His one-timer and shot overall are weapons from range, and he can be the trigger guy in the power play. His only downside is a lack of true separation in his skating. So he should be one of the top players on Team Finland, and look for him, number 10, Kasper Halttunen. Moving on, we have number 17, Brayden Yager of Team Canada, who plays for the Moose Jaw Warriors in the WHL. And he had a great season, putting up 59 points in 63 games with 34 goals. So this kid can shoot the puck. Look for him to be a trigger man on the power play for Team Canada at the Hlinka Cup. Here's his stats right here. And you'll see that last year he played for Moose Jaw too and had 18 points in 24 games. So like I said, this kid is putting up some decent numbers in the dub, and he's going to be a nice player to watch. Yager plays the game like a pro with high pace and compete in his shifts. He has flashy skill in playmaking, but he has a direct style to his game that will translate to higher levels. Yager's shot is also a weapon, and he will be a good scorer versus better goalies. So Brayden Yager, number 17, Team Canada, watch out for him. Moving on, Quentin Musty, number 22 for the Americans for Team USA. He played in the OHL this past season for the Sudbury Wolves and was named to the second all-rookie team. This kid can skate and already has some highlight reel goals from blowing by defensemen who didn't take his skating seriously. If we look at his stats for Sudbury, he had 31 points in 50 games. Not bad. Put up some decent numbers. Selected first overall at the 2021 OHL Draft, Musty had a respectable 31 points in his first season with Sudbury. A dynamic playmaker, Musty keeps opposing defenders guessing, uses his quick feet to blow by them and create offensive opportunities. So he'll be one of the top guys on Team USA. And keep an eye out for Quentin Musty, number 22, for the Americans. All right, next up, Riley Heidt for Team Canada. The forward is wearing number 27, the same number he wears for Prince George. He's a competitive player with some nice puck skills and good hockey IQ. Needs a little work on his skating, but it's early, so we'll see where that goes. But like I said, he had 58 points in 65 games in the dub. Pretty nice numbers for a 16-year-old. And here's a quote from the Hockey News. Height's 58 points in 65 regular season games with Prince George last year is impressive given that he did that on a team that wasn't remotely in the WHL standing fight. He's ready to bring his stout offensive game to Canada, where he'll hope to show why some believe he's a top 10 prospect for the 2023 draft. So Riley Heidt, number 27, Team Canada. Watch out for him. All right, next is Theo Lindstein, number 9 for Team Sweden. He is a dynamic defenseman who played in Sweden's top men's league as a 16-year-old and played 12 games. He ended up playing over 100 minutes in the SHL this past season. And you know who was the last defender to do that? A guy by the name of Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres. So that's not some bad company. If we look at his stats, he only had 1 point in 12 games in the SHL and 4 points in 34 games in the U20. So not some huge numbers, but nevertheless, played some pretty good hockey. Here's a quote from the Hockey News again. One of the top defensemen in the tournament, Lindstein is a modern-day mobile defenseman with good puck control and solid top-end speed. He'll be one of Sweden's most important players at the Hlinka Cup. So we're going to watch out for Theo Lindstein, number 9, Team Sweden. All right, here's another Canadian on the list, Calum Ritchie, who will be wearing number 21 and played in the OHL for the Oshawa Generals this past season. He's a big kid listed at 6'1" and has some nice skill with the puck and is a decent shooter as well. He may be a surprise at this tournament, so we'll keep an eye out for Calum Ritchie, number 21. Last year in the OHL, he put up 45 points in 65 games. He actually started the OHL on a fire, but then kind of slowed down in the second half, but nevertheless still put up some decent numbers. And here's a quote from The Athletic. The tools jump out to you. He's a 6'1" center who can skate and is extremely skilled. Ritchie can pull you off your seat with some of the rushes and one-on-one plays he can make. His consistency could be a little bit better, but the upside and the scoring ability will make him a high pick. So Calum Ritchie, number 21, Team Canada. All right, moving on here. We got Eduard Sale for Team Czechia. Will be wearing number 12. He's a high-paced and high-skilled forward who has no issues when the puck is on his stick. He absolutely torched the Czechia under-20 league, putting up 89 points in 39 games. Wow. Yeah, watch for this kid, number 12, when Czechia hits the ice, because he could do some damage all by himself. And he also ended up playing in the top men's Czech league, and in 10 games had 3 points, so not bad. So this kid can put up some pretty decent numbers. And here's a quote from the Hockey News. One of the top European forwards for the 2023 draft, Sale is an impressive playmaker that plays the game at a high speed and has a quick release. He had a quiet showing at the Hlinka last year, but he'll be counted on in a big way this time around. So let's watch out for Team Czechia. All right, last on the list, Ondrej Molnar of Team Slovakia, number 11. So without Dvorsky, who will be playing on the World Juniors U20 squad, Molnar should lead this group. He has a good combination of playmaking and scoring skills and could possibly be among the top scorers by the end of the tourney. If we look at his season stats, you'll see that he played 30 games in the men's top Slovak league as a 16-year-old. Not too shabby. He only had 2 points, but that's okay. In the U20 league, he had 19 points in 25 games. And if you look, he had 99 penalty minutes, so he's got a little edge to him. I like that. All right, here's a quote from the Hockey News. Molnar becomes one of the names to watch here. Will he outdo his 6-point run from last year's Hlinka? That Slovakian team had much more firepower than this year, but he'll be a game changer for his country again this year. So let's watch out for Ondrej Molnar, number 11 for Team Slovakia. And that's it. And like I said, watch for a Hlinka-Gretzky highlight video for the 2023 draft eligible players after the tournament ends. And then we'll get into the World Juniors U20 tournament, which starts next week. So a lot of good hockey in the next couple of weeks this summer. I love it. And again, please subscribe and hit the like button to help the channel grow. I really appreciate that. And cheers.